I'm going to try to keep this short, but I don't know. I'm just going to see how Spirit is going to lead me. But there are some people that are very close to completing their perfect picture, but they're missing that one final piece. And they're missing that piece because of fear and negative experiences. They are within reach of getting that final piece to complete that perfect picture that they need for their life. But they're afraid to use that final piece because of a negative experience, because of fear, because of apprehension. And they could have everything they could possibly dream. And if you hear, machinery in the background, I'm doing chores right now, so that's my little disclaimer. So I just wanted to let you know that. But there's some of you right now that you're so close to having that complete, beautiful picture that you've been waiting all your life to have. But it's just that one piece that is missing. And a lot of you know what that one piece is. A lot of you can have that one piece, but there is something that is holding you back. It could be a negative trauma. It could be a past experience that you won't let go of. It could be a grudge. It could be a fear. It could be something that happened before that you cannot erase or will not erase. It could be a character flaw that you refuse to address. It could be a toxic person that you refuse to release. It could be a habit that you refuse to let go of that's stopping you. And you know this. That's stopping you from getting that final piece to put in the puzzle. And some of you know that once you complete that picture, that it's going to make your life so much better than what it is now. And the sad part about it is you've brainwashed yourself to believe that an incomplete picture in your life is okay. Because that's what society done told your asses. Society has you brainwashed to believe that it's okay to get by, that it's okay to be 99.9%, that it's okay to be partially okay, that it's okay to have a little bit of something, that it's okay to be half empty, that it's okay to have crumbs, that it's okay to just get what you can, and all this old bullshit. You've been brainwashed to believe it. You've been brainwashed to have low expectations. And because you've been brainwashed to have low expectations, you have been receiving less than. When you have been brainwashed to have low expectations, and I fully understand this because I came from that place, when you have been brainwashed to have low expectations, you will operate in a low vibration. And when you operate in a low vibration, you will attract a low energy. And when you attract a low energy, you will receive low vibrational things, and you will receive low quality things. Okay? You will not receive things of high value. You will not be involved in high value situations. You will not receive things that have longevity. You will not receive things that have positivity. You will attract negative forces at all times. There will be constant confusion. There will not be a sense of permanence. There will not be stability. You will not have peace. And that's what negative forces want you to stay in that, want you to stay in a state of restlessness. When they talk about raising the vibration, that's what that means. That means raising your expectations, expecting more from yourself. Accepting the fact that this existence that you have, you are not guaranteed another one in this physical form after this. Valuing the time that is given to you, valuing your spiritual connection, valuing all the blessings that are given to you and beyond, valuing your connections and making the most of every single one of them, and sharing with others what you have so you can raise their vibration and frequency, so we can try to make more of what we have so it could be fruitful and multiply and not diminish. But that's not what society wants. Taking reduces, giving grows. But that's not what society wants you to think. When you take the juice out of something, it shrinks. When you dehydrate something, that means you're taking the juice out of it. So when you have a puzzle, if you have a 5,000 piece puzzle and you only have 4,999 pieces, guess what? That picture is not complete. It's not a pretty picture. No picture is ever complete if a piece is missing. It never will be. Never will be. I'm going to give you a couple of storylines. One of them is going to be spiritual and the other one is going to be financial, to kind of give you an idea of what a missing piece looks like. To kind of help you understand, so that way for some of you who are ignoring that final missing piece, maybe you'll kind of just wake up and want to use that final missing piece and see how significant it is in your life, and you can start seeing some changes occur. Because right now you're probably on a proverbial hamster wheel of the same thing going on over and over and over again in your life. You're stuck in a rut, and you're wondering why you're stuck in a rut. It's because you're not using that final missing piece of the puzzle that you've been ignoring all this time. And a couple of stories, and these are hypotheticals. I do not know anything of these people or these situations happening truthfully. I'm just using these as examples to make my point. Now, first one is going to be spiritual, and this is a commonplace situation. Two people, be male, female, doesn't matter. Two people involved in a relationship for a long period of time have done everything under the sun. Done everything commitment-wise except get married. This is a common situation. Everything. Lived together, had children, made money, lost money, made more money again. Bought a house, sold a house, bought another house, sold a house, bought cars, sold cars, made investments, sold investment, made more investments, built accounts, made accounts, built more accounts, traveled here, traveled there, did more traveling. Okay? Got jobs, got more jobs, got more positions in jobs. Advanced. Grew older, grew more older. Okay. Got more money, moved on. Got grandkids, got more grandkids. Those kids got married, got divorced, everything else. Went through the whole cycle of life together, did everything but get married. Did everything in the world, did everything. Got sick, got well, got sick, got well. Did everything that involved the institution of marriage but get married. Did everything. Did everything. One person in a relationship, okay, they're cool with that. Now, I'm talking about people. Now, if you're involved in a relationship and the both of you are happy with this, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about two people where one person is happy with it and the other person is stuck in a rut. Okay? This is a situation where you have two people have done everything that a married couple have done except get married, but you got one person that is in a rut. The other person is cool with it because they're okay with it because they are the person who had a problem in the past, probably with either broken marriage, came from a broken home that had issues with marriage, or they have been afraid of marriage because they've been privy to situations with broken marriages and have been afraid to get married because they were afraid they were going to have a bad marriage or whatever the case may be, so they never got married. So when they got involved with this person, they never did it. But the other person deep down, way, 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 way deep down, has always gotten married. And over the years, the only time they ever had arguments was over marriage, but they never got married, and this person never left the relationship because they loved them and hoped deep down in their heart eventually they got married, but they never did. Commonplace situation. So they were thinking that maybe this person would change their mind, and they never did. They've been together 15, 20 years, never got married, blah, 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 blah. You know the story. Missing piece. Marriage. Didn't happen. Okay? The other person's in a rut. And I'm not saying that the other person who is used to the situation is wrong. They're used to it. They figure after all this time, why should things change? Am I saying that they're wrong for thinking that? I'm not saying that at all. They're just used to it. Nothing's happened all this time. Why should it change, right? Well, life is full of change, people. All of a sudden, after 20 years, new person shows up at the job or the club or whatever this person does in his spare time. And within a short period of time, they develop a friendship. Come to find out, they got a lot more in common than they used to. And within a short period of time, the other person who's been wanting marriage deep, deep down from this other person they've been with all these years, all of a sudden they start having an affair on the other person. And right before you know it, they wind up walking out on the person they've been with after all these years that they didn't get a commitment from and had done everything under the sun with. And they wind up going off with this person they only known for a very short period of time, and within months they are married. You guys have heard these stories. And you're wondering what the hell just happened. That other person provided the missing piece, people. Now you're probably saying, oh man, that person was wrong. No, they provided the missing piece, people. They provided the missing piece. That's the spiritual side of it. Financial side, here's another good one. Young fella gets an after-school job from middle school all the way through high school, working at a mechanic shop for a middle-aged man who has a mechanic shop. Middle-aged man who doesn't have any children. He gets this young fella, and this young fella really knows how to work on cars. I'll call the man Mr. Jim. Mr. Jim has a garage. He hires this young fella, has a single mom. He's helping mom take care of the household, so he's bringing in some extra money to help Mr. Jim fix cars, has a knack for fixing cars. Mr. Jim eventually opens up a second shop, and he helps run Mr. Jim's second shop through high school. He's doing good, Mr. Jim finally tells him, he said, look, I see you getting ready to graduate high school and everything. He said, what I need for you to do, he said, I got this second shop here, and he said, I'm starting to get a little older, and I don't have any children. He said, I need for you to do me a favor. He said, I want a franchise. I want to open up a chain of shops. But he said, I don't have a high school education, and I'm getting older. He said, I'm willing to put you up in one of my houses. He said, I'm going to let you have one of my houses, and I'm going to pay for you to go to college. He said, I need for you to get a master's degree in business so you can run my business. So when I die, I want you to take over. Heck of a deal, right, people? Mr. Jim wants to give this to this young man because this young man helped him run this business because he didn't have anything to pass it on to. He had nieces and nephews and cousins, but they never took an interest in the business, and he had faith in this boy because this boy helped him build his business. Rightful thing to do. Wonderful idea, right? Now, you and I would jump at an opportunity like this. But see, this young man never did really like school, and he barely wanted to graduate high school. Do you know this young man, He didn't want to take the offer because he was scared to go to college. He didn't think about going to college. He didn't want to take the opportunity Mr. Jim gave him. He said, Mr. Jim, I don't know about going to college and da 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 da. So Mr. Jim said, I'm going to let you take the year off to decide what you want to do. But he said, I can't wait too much longer. He said, because I'm getting older. He said, and he said, I really want to expand on the business and build on it. He said, but I don't want my building. He said, I don't want my business to just die when I die. He said, I want it to move on. This is my legacy. He said, I wanted to give it to you. But he said, I can't give it to you if you don't have the sense to run the business. So he said, well, Mr. Jim, I'll think about it. A year passes. Mr. Jim goes to him again. He said, well, I got the offer to you again. He said, I'm going to give you the house and I'm still going to pay for your education. He's humming and hawing again. Still doesn't take the offer. Second year rolls around. Mr. Jim gets very, very sick and he dies very quickly. By that time, he still doesn't go to college. Still doesn't take the offer. And then the offer's off the table. Mr. Jim has already died. So there he is at the time of his death. Mr. Jim went ahead and willed the business to him anyway because he was the only one that was there. But because he didn't have the education, he figured, well, I'm making a ton of money. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to hire some people to run the business for me. Now, people, there's nothing wrong with hiring people to do the business for you. But if you don't know the business and you don't know the type of people to hire, that can be a dangerous thing. And I talked about this in previous audios. He hired people that he didn't check the qualifications because he didn't know what to check for. And there were a lot of shady things that were going on. Some money was stolen, paperwork wasn't filed properly, and within a matter of 5 years, that business went under because he had to wind up filing bankruptcy. There were tax issues, licensing issues, violations, and he wound up losing the business. All this because of that missing piece. All he had to do was go to college and get that degree in business so he can know how to run it himself and keep it going. That was the missing piece. His fear of expanding his mind and continuing his education, he could have led a fruitful life for himself. He could have done right by his mentor. He could have had a thriving business and a fruitful life. I say this to say this, people. Don't let fear and negativity prevent you from getting that final missing piece of that perfect picture in your life. And that's exactly what's happening with a lot of you. You have something in your life that has the potential of giving you what you've dreamed of. But because of past trauma, but because of what you're afraid of, it's stopping you from taking that final piece and putting it in that puzzle so you can get what you want. And until you do that, you're going to be stuck in that rut doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and you'll never be satisfied. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Peace to you all.